Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ventures Park, brand new Facebook Live series where I take you to the very different faces of the park and they give you their expert tips and advice on building your business, your brand, and growing it to this amazing new heights. So here with me, I have Mrs. Jane Odonwodo. She is the HR manager at Ventoven. She has over 13 years of experience in human resource management, strategic human resource management, employee engagement, and corporate communications branding. She manages great talents here at the park, ventures platform, emerging platforms, and edu platforms. Jane, it's really nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Sioma. I'm super excited to be here to share with the community.
Awesome. So to kick things off, I want to ask you some questions. So first question is, what are the steps it takes to make a great hire?
Hiring is a big deal. It's a make or break decision because whoever you hire can either pour into you or take out of you as it drain you. So you don't want to make a mistake with your hiring. And that's why at Ventoven, we like to follow what we call the smart hiring process. Now, this process starts with having a manpower plan. You need a manpower plan. And in designing your manpower plan, very basic, you have to answer the questions that include 5 W's and H. Now, I'm going to take you through this 5 W's and H, and that's it. So the first is, where are you going? Where are you going? Where is your business going? Where is your company going? What's your strategic direction? That's your first W. Once you answer that, the next thing you need to ask yourself is, why am I going there? What's your why? What's your mission? Once you have that sorted, the next thing to ask is, what needs to be done to get to where I am going? What needs to get done? What's the job to be done? Here, you need to spend some time to list out the jobs to be done, everything that needs to be checked out to get to where you're going. Next, what skills are required to take me to where I am going? So now let me take you back. We've asked ourselves the question, where am I going? Why am I going there? What needs to be done to take me there? What skills are required to get the job done to take me there? Now, once you're able to answer the what needs to be done at the skills question, you begin to get an idea of the roles that you need in your manpower plan. Now, next, the last W is, who do I need to hire now? So you need to tell yourself the truth now. You may not necessarily require all the roles today or for the now, but there are specific roles you cannot do without right now. So you need to tell yourself that. Who do I need to hire now? And then lastly, how much do I have to hire? Once you're able to answer these 5 W's and H, then you have your manpower plan. Great. So at this point, it helps to look inwards to find out if you have these resources internally. Don't jump out just yet. Ask yourself, do I have these resources internally? If yes, great. If no, then you go into your recruitment and selection. Where do I look? You may look to your professional network, the network of your employees. You may go on job boards or engage the services of a professional head hunter, right? Now, let's move to selection. So now that you have all this pool of amazing people who answers your questions on what skills and can do what needs to be done to take you to your strategic direction, you need to, how do you now narrow down on the perfect fit for your team or for your company? Now, because the process of getting to your strategic direction is a journey, you do not want to make that journey with people who do not share the same values as you do, or people who are not going where you're going. Yes. So how do you guard against that? Very simple. in your selection process, you need to find a way to infuse questions that gauge the values of a candidate, what their personal journey is, just so that you're sure that you are both aligned. After all, hiring a candidate is like marriage. Yes, so you want to marry to the right partner. And once all the boxes are checked, then you have your perfect hire.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jane. So the big takeaway from that very first question is consider your why before you start bringing in people into your organization.
True.
Consider what it is that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
Look for the set skills and make sure that they have the same values that align with where you want to go.
True.
Now, we talked about, money for hiring those funds, and that's a big deal, especially for some people out there who are, business owners. You're starting your brand new business and you want to take it to the next level, but you don't really have enough money to hire all the people that you need on your team. So what do you do? How do you make your business more appealing so that people can just come in, new people can come in and help you to make that vision a reality? What should companies do?
That's a good question. I understand that businesses starting out, small businesses with invited commerce, may not have the financial muscles as much as big companies have. But there are a few things you can do to attract the kind of talent that you want on your team. First is have a compelling story. Have a compelling story and tell it. It should reflect in your hiring process. This is why we're doing this. Your candidates need to feel and understand your journey. That's one. Two, start off from day one from building your brand. You need to be active on social media. You need to connect on social media. You need to be at meetups. You need to take up speaking engagements because these are opportunities for people to see how it looks like, how it feels like working with you. Next is be a great place to work at, and great people will work with you. Have the right culture, the right values. Just be a great place to work at. And then those in-house will tell their friends and share with your network, and that way you get to attract the right kind of people to your team. Next thing you can do is hire your fans. Hire your fans. Yes, as funny as that may sound, but they're the ones who are more likely to take ownership of the job to be done. Then I know what you're thinking. What if my fans are not skilled enough to take up that role? What do I do? Yeah, if they're not skilled, just find a place for them still, because passion and enthusiasm has a way of jump-starting skills in certain roles. And then your funds are good for mouth-to-mouth marketing as well. So you need them. Then you can also consider hiring remotely. Yeah. The good thing is there are lots of sites out there that allows you to tap into talents who are remote. That means you have a whole world of talents before you. Yeah.
Awesome. So what's the big takeaway for that is if you want to attract the right people, you have to make sure that you're also giving out the values that you want to bring into your company.
Yeah.
And you really have to start where you are. You have to start with the people who actually appreciate and want what you have to offer. And if you can reach out and find out people outside beyond your reach, then you can bring them onto your team. Thank you so much, Jane. So now let's talk about the work culture and, creating that sort of team where people are genuinely loving the culture and you have a team culture that is really outstanding. How can businesses really create that amazing work culture?
Culture is always a big deal. It's always a big deal for companies. But before we get to culture, if you're looking to revisit your culture, reinstate your culture, I would urge you to do one thing first. Something I call spring cleaning. Yes. So in most organizations, there are 4 categories of people. You find 4 categories of people. First are the doubters. And then you have the unbelievers. And then you have the believers and then the true believers. You always have this 4th category of people in most workplaces. So let's start with the doubters. You're those people who every morning, they're always having one complaint or the other. No matter how beautiful the morning is, They always have somebody to blame for their non-performance or ineffectiveness. They're not just happy. And most times they blame it on HR, sadly. Find those people and fire them. Like, I'm not kidding. Fire them, because they are bad energy and you don't want them. Because if you keep them, if you manage them, you're gonna get more followers and you don't want that. Two, find the non-believers. Now, the non-believers are those who do not exactly buy into your grand vision, but they'll get their job done as long as you meet your own side of the bargain. Such people do not plan to stay with you for the long run. They may get off the bus at some point, but there's hope you can convert them. Because if you don't get to them first, the doubters will, and will push them to become a follower. So you want to find them and win them to your side and make them a believer. But if you try and that doesn't work, it's okay. It's okay. They will leave at some point. Now, next is the believers. Those are the good ones. They're excited about what you do, but super consistent. Today they're all moving with the flow, and tomorrow they're a little discouraged. Find them still. You need to keep them motivated. Do everything you can to keep them motivated. And then you have the true believers. I love those sets. They're the ones who will champion your cause, take your dreams to the greatest height. They're with you through thick and thin. Do not take them for granted. And that's a mistake most business owners do. Do not take them for granted. Don't think, they're going to be with me either ways. Because such group, when they turn their backs on you, they are terrible doubters. So find them, treasure them, encourage them so that they can convert the believers to true believers, the non-believers to believers, and possibly true believers. The doubters, they could try. Yes. So once that is done, then your values. Be clear on your values and reinstate them every time. A colleague of mine will say, reinstate your values every 90 days. Make sure everybody knows what you stand for and what you don't stand for. Get to that point where employees can have all of this engraved and then hold each other accountable. That's how you build a great culture.
Awesome. Thank you, Jane. So you just need to identify select people. You put them in a group, doubters, believers, non-believers, and you know how you need to reach them based on the sort of message that they are bringing into the team. So we have a really great question by Lamide based on the building a great work culture. And he asks, who sets the tone? Is it you or is it the team that sets the tone for the work culture you want your organization to represent?
Well, I from experience, he has to start with the business owner, the founder. What are the values of the founder? And then that has to be shared with the team. It's a you don't teach culture. It's something everyone practices every day, and then it becomes a practice. Culture is a way of life, right? But it has to trickle down from the founder down to the team. I remember I talked about your hiring process. If you don't get at the hiring process, you're going to have a bunch of people who do not share your values, and you don't want that. So if you have your hiring process right, then it'll be easy to solidify your culture because you all believe and excited about the same things.
Awesome.
But always reemphasize. Yeah.
So the culture starts from you as that business owner. You set the tone. And when you're hiring people, you have to make sure that they align with your values of what you want the organization to represent. And before we head to the last question, another question from Lamide. And he's wondering what is the employee's life cycle to go from one particular role to another?
Oh no, I think he's referring to if an employee can move from being a true believer to believer. And yes, Lamide, that is very possible. That's very possible if the things that are enumerated are not done. For instance, if the true believers are taken for granted, they're going to slide gradually to being just believers, and then gradually they go to being non-believers, and then worst case they become doubters, and they are the worst doubters because they know you in and out. They know they know what's possible, what's not possible. They've been there with you, so they can call others out, and they are opinion makers. You don't want to joke with them. Yes, I mean, it's possible. We don't want that to happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So now let's head to the last question, whether you can debunk any misconception that people have about HR and the human resources departments and their function in a business. Like, let's get your perspective on that.
I'm gonna say this directly to founders of startups and small businesses. Most times they have this notion that you don't need an HR person, in your team. I have good charisma. If I sell my passion and my vision to my team, and that's enough. It's not. It's not, because with HR comes processes as well. With HR comes strategic management of personnel, and believe me, managing people is the hardest thing. So you need a HR in your team. If you do not have a professional HR in your team, find someone who has an inkling to it and fire the person up to learn more about managing people, because in the end, people are your greatest resources. It's not just a financial capital, it's also your people capital. So that's what I like to deploy.
Awesome. So if you are starting out and you feel as though your passion can just drive things and create the team you want, you need to consider the fact that human resource serves a very critical role in an organization. So you cannot just leave that out. You have to make sure you hire somebody to manage that department and help you in bringing the right people into your team.
Certainly.
Thank you so much, Jane. If anybody has any other additional questions, you can just let us know. Drop it on the comment section below.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us in this live series. And if you have any other topics that you would like us to cover, if there are particular people in the park that you want to get their own tips, advice, and resources on how to build your own business, you just let me know, as each month I'll be bringing you to the different faces of the park. So thank you so much for joining us. If you have some additional comments, questions, don't forget to just drop it there. And if you aren't liking our Facebook page, like the Ventures Park on Facebook, and I will see you another time. Thank you and bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much, Jane.
Yeah.
Bye.